And we are good. What's up, guys?
We're live!
We're live. We're actually doing this.
This is the first official episode of... Oh my god, my shit's echoing. This is the first official episode of HotLap, the F1 Podcast, hosted by myself and Caleb Dunham. Talk a lot about the sport, so we figured why not try to like make something of talking about it all the time. So here we are.
It was literally the other night. We're like, man, we're talking about... I forgot what we were talking about. It was some... We were talking about Papaya Rules, I think, and...
A lot of McLaren
McLaren conversations. And then he was like, dude, this sounds like a podcast. We should totally do a podcast. And I was like, bet. So
Say
here
less.
we are.
See, I love that. I love that we're able, like, we're on that friendship level to where I'll literally just be like, hey, we should do this. And you're like, all right, yeah, bet.
All right, cool. Let me figure it out real quick.
Right? Alrighty. So, you want to jump into it, Caleb?
Absolutely.
All right. We got to start by talking about McLaren and their fuck-ass rules.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin, but look, there's been a lot of dirty laundry that's come out the past, like, week or so about McLaren. Since before Grand Prix, there's just been just a bunch of dirty laundry on McLaren. So, first let's start with what Papaya Rules even are. McLaren have it in their... Yeah, for the uninitiative. McLaren have it in their heads that there's a certain way they like to go racing. And that means that having their drivers be treated equally and, you know, doing things to, like, overall benefit the team. That's, like, the PR version of, you know, what the Papaya Rules are. Papaya being their team color. What it actually is, and I think most of the internet agrees with me here, Papaya Rules are really just Lando Norris favoritism. They clearly just favor Lando Norris over Oscar Piastri. They treat him like shit. And this has been evident several times. We had it in Monza. Lando Norris had a slow pit stop, and they radioed in Oscar Piastri, who was ahead of Lando, and they were like, hey, can you, like, give Lando your position because he had a slow pit stop? And Oscar's like, bro, what? I mean, I guess, but okay. And there's that, and then we had the Singapore Grand Prix that just happened a weekend ago, and that shit entailed, like, I think it was like the first lap or so, or like one of the first laps, dude. Lando Norris had an ample amount of runoff on the track. He was behind Verstappen and next to Piastri, and he thought it was a really good idea to just slam into his teammate.
Yeah, it was literally, if you watch the clip back, he's driving, and he's apparently Max Verstappen's on his left, and Oscar Piastri's on his right. And what does he do? You see him in the steering wheel. He goes and just hits him. And then even Oscar Piastri calls it out. He's like, dude, are we not going to address that? And the team managers were like, well, he had to get out of the way of Verstappen, so we're not really going to review that during the race. After the race, we can talk about it. And he's like, it's not fair. If you have to avoid somebody else by crashing into your teammate, that's not fair.
Pretty shit job of, you know, being a teammate, in his words.
Like, I get it. They were both competing for the WDC, right? They're both competing for it separately, but come on. You're a team, you know?
Yeah. I'm completely on Oscar's side on this because it's like, dude, you can look back at the footage, and I get that, like, in the heat of the moment, like, you know, things happen, but, like, I definitely, if I was in Lando's shoes, I wouldn't have made that mistake because, like, Verstappen was, like, pretty much ahead of him, like, completely.
Yeah.
And
he had a gap he could have gone to.
There was a gap because if you look on his left, there was runoff. No sausage curbs, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a really big, like, hump that kind of can fuck up your car if you drive over it. So there was no sausage curbs. It was just plain runoff that he could have went into. Yeah, it's off of the track, but it's turn one, and usually there's not really any penalties around turn one, lap one, because they just know it's going to be fucking chaos.
Exactly.
They knew it. so they don't penalize. So you see people go off into the runoff during situations like this. Lando didn't do that. He was just like, and he had, for the rest of the race at Singapore, he had a busted plate, the right plate on his front wing.
The front wing, yeah.
And
it was like this, like hanging out.
Yeah, it was like hanging off like the entire rest of the race. And McLaren didn't do a single thing about it. So it's also been revealed recently on the topic of McLaren that Zach Brown, the team principal of McLaren, has had an interest in Lando's company. I forget the name off the top of my head. Lando's his esports company, he was like the manager or like some kind of like director for it, or like he had some kind of like financial interest in Lando's esports team, and he just now got out of it as of July of this year.
Yeah, because I guess people are starting to look into it and they're like, that's fishy. There's clear Lando Norris favoritism. And that's pretty pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, no. And it's not like other people that are even like associated with the team are like, talking about this, because you have Alex Palou, who is an IndyCar driver. He is in kind of hot water with McLaren because he breached the contract with them because he thought he was going to get a seat on Formula One, and he thought so because he literally, I guess he got some kind of information from McLaren that Zach Brown was saying they didn't even want to get Oscar a seat on McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
And now that that's like out there from this IndyCar driver, like they just keep getting in hotter and hotter and hotter water. Like, yeah, they won the Constructors Championship, but like, dude, at what cost if you have to do all this shit behind the scenes?
Yeah, exactly. And plus, this is the last season with the old rules. We're about to jump into the 2026 regulations, right? Which is a perfect segue into our next topic.
Yeah,
the regulations for 2026. They are here and they are wild. Everything's going to be different next year.
Yeah, they're making completely different cars next year. But yeah, it's just like it's the last year of like this, constructors mandate during the ground effect era. This is what we have, and just to see them act like this just to get this championship is just abhorrent. And they lost a lot of respect from the fans, and I don't think next year is going to look very good for them at all. I think this is like the 1 year where they get like a hoorah, and then it's going to go immediately down.
Yeah.
Circling back to your mentioning of the 2026 regulations, I think Mercedes is going to be fucking dominant next year. I think I'm so excited because Max Verstappen himself is even like, yeah, dude, Mercedes engine for next year is fucking, it's gonna be good.
I don't know. I have high hopes for Cadillac. I have very high hopes for Cadillac, and that might be me being biased because it's a fully U.S. team, and the U.S. needs a win. The other U.S. team is kind of fucking shit. No offense, Ollie Behrman. I love you, Ollie Behrman, but Haas is kind of fucking shit.
It's a backmarker team. They're not really
exactly. But I do feel like Cadillac is going to be a front runner next year, especially because they're coming in with a completely new set of regulations. So they've had time to study and know the regulations. They've had time to really, really kind of design their car. Whereas other teams that have been racing for past few seasons, they're going to be like, okay, we have this car that's been working, and then we have these new regulations. Let's try to fit this car into these new regulations. Let's change the existing product. Whereas Cadillac, they're coming in and they're like, hey, we need to create a product for these regulations, specifically for these regulations. So that's why I think
they're all in.
Exactly, they're all in, and that's why I think Cadillac's going to be a front runner.
Absolutely. Sorry to cut you off, but you have other constructors that are competing this year. All 20 of them, they are. Not only have they had to focus on like creating the 2025 car and also like upgrading it throughout the course of the season to like, keep up with everybody, but they also are balancing making the 2026 car on top of the 2025.
Exactly.
But when you have all your resources, even if it's your first year, you have GM's backing, you have some amazing drivers, and you have all systems go on making a 2026 car. I mean, there's a lot to be optimistic about here with Cadillac. Like, I don't think I'm going to be swayed out of Mercedes, but I am saying I'm excited to look at Cadillac and see where they go, because it's pretty exciting for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, too. I think we're all pretty excited about Cadillac, actually.
I 100% agree. I'm really excited about Cadillac. For anybody watching this, it might fool you. I'm not a Ferrari fan. I'm a Leclerc fan. It just Leclerc happens to be racing for Ferrari right now. So sadly, I'm subjected to my weekly dose of depression. And I'm always just like, nah, we got this. Ferrari 1-2 at Singapore, and then it was not. And then Ferrari won, so it was like Ferrari 1-2 at Monza, and then Ferrari 1-2 at Singapore, and now I'm like Ferrari 1-2 at Coda, and
it's just a running joke.
It is honestly just a running joke.
Yeah, no, this entire season, it's literally just been like, Ferrari 1-2, and I'm like, no.
You're like, Ferrari 13 and 14.
Yeah, I made a joke, like, right before the race on Saturday, where I was like, Ferrari 6-7, and they actually got it.
Yeah, he called it. Literally, we were watching the race, like, live, and right before the race started, he's like, I'm calling it Ferrari 6-7, because I made the Ferrari 1-2, he's like, Ferrari 6-7. And then at the end of the race, at P6, P7, I'm like... And it wasn't even like a 6-7 kind of thing. It was more like, nah, just 6 and 7.
For me, I made a 6-7 joke, and it's turned into reality. It's really funny.
He spoke it into existence. What can I say?
Yeah. George Russell won the Singapore Grand Prix. I bet money on it. And I fucking got it.
This man had a 3-leg parlay, and it all hit. Like, it all hit.
All 3 of them hit, because I know my shit, son. I know my shit. No, I'd be lying if I said I was completely confident for that parlay to hit, though. I'm going to be completely honest. There's a luck factor involved, so I didn't think I was going to hit all 3.
You were definitely talking like you were confident. You're like, oh, yeah, it's going to hit. It's definitely going to hit. And then as the race was drawing, like, to a close, you're like, oh, my God, wait, it's actually going to hit.
It's actually, like, because his confidence is, like, I might seem on the outside, on the inside, I'm, like, screaming. I'm like, I just burned $60.
Come on, I need that back.
Yeah, no, literally. No, but I made a little bit of money doing that. What's interesting, too, is even Mercedes didn't expect themselves to win the Singapore Grand Prix. George Russell in an interview literally was like, yeah, I don't know how we won this, but we're gonna have to look at why the fuck we managed to win this. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes in Austin this weekend. That's gonna be interesting.
And my sources have it that you're actually gonna be there, possibly.
I don't know for sure yet. We'll see. I will definitely be posting about it. You will hear about it if I'm at the Austin GP.
You will definitely hear about it.
You will hear about it. I can't confirm it yet, but there's a chance. Vegas for sure though. Vegas, I got the ticket for Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited though to see where this goes, because I want to circle back to McLaren a little bit here.
Absolutely.
Going into the topic of the Grand Prix. Listen, Oscar Piastri, this is not the first time he's been fucked this year by McLaren.
Yeah.
He's had it. I've had it. All the fans have had it. You look at McLaren comment sections on Instagram, it's literally just justice for Oscar, Oscar, justice for Oscar. Like,
yeah.
Blood of these kind of comments, right? Like, the community's fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rightfully so. I mean...
Oh yeah, rightfully so. Because like, even during like the Singapore Grand Prix, they just won the constructors championship, and while Zach Brown is like congratulating Oscar on the radio, he just unplugs that shit. He's done.
Yeah,
he's fed up.
I saw that, and I was like, Okay, so I'm looking up the regulations so we can talk about them in a little bit. But yeah, that
Yeah, that
was
sounds good.
actually really funny. I was like, ain't no
That's some shit
way.
I would do. That's some shit I would do. Like, I'm
It's
petty like
totally
that.
something you would do.
Yeah, no. In his position, like, I don't blame him at all. And you know, if he's anything like me, which he's already doing some shit that I would do,
Yeah,
he's not gonna listen to any Papaya Rules they make
absolutely
during
not.
Circuit of the Americas this weekend. Like, it's just not happening.
Hell
Like,
no.
Oscar's fighting for the championship. He's in the lead for the championship by like about 15 points or so, maybe 13 points. I don't remember the exact number, but
Yeah,
you know, he's leaning, but it could go either way. And I think if Oscar really wants to secure this championship, you know, Brody used to just tune out Lando, tune out McLaren, just lock the fuck in. And I think he's capable of it because he's a better driver than Lando,
yeah,
easily.
100%. He's
So
he's easily better.
yeah, even if I'm not going to be there in person, I'm definitely going to be watching the Austin Grand Prix, and I really want to watch for Piastri. I think he is going to win. I really think, because they just proved that they can win a championship with this car.
Yeah.
Piastri's fucking. I think McLaren is actually easing off the gas now too, because they got what they wanted out of it.
Oh yeah.
It just is leaning more towards like Oscar just tuning everybody out and being like, no, fuck you guys, I'm gonna win this championship.
I'm sorry, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulties right now.
Oh man.
I know. I'm trying to make sure that this is doing the thing.
Ah, yes, the thing.
Ah, yes, the thing. I'm trying to make sure this looks like decent. Okay. Sorry. I had to add so we could look up the regulations later. I had to add a thing. The window. I had to add the window. Yeah. It's just stuff, doing on the fly. Fixes on the fly. You know how it is.
Yeah, first episode problems.
Yeah. It's all good though. We're back now. We're good now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no. That's where I'm going with this. I really want to watch for what Piastri's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a sprint race this weekend too, which is going to be really interesting.
That's
You
going
can
to
get
be
some
really
points.
interesting.
The sprint race is kind of like a junior race to the real one. You can get some points that way. So, the sprint race is going to be a really good litmus test for where Piastri is versus Lando.
Yeah.
And if Max or George, because they've been kind of playing with, getting some wins and podiums this year, kind of where they're going to be at too. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely.
Austin Grand Prix.
And the sprint races, they're like what, a fraction of the laps of the real race. So it's really just go, 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 pedal to the metal, no stops, no nothing. Just go, go, go. Try to get a finish, like try to get a high finish.
Mm-hmm. Score some points.
Yeah, score some points.
Mm-hmm. Because then I think after the sprint race, we go back to qualifying. You get the sprint qualifying and then the sprint, regular qualifying, then the actual race too. So,
yep.
Gonna be some interesting stuff. I would definitely watch for P1 and 2 though in qualifying. The reason I say that is because I did some research, and historically speaking, then like the last 10 years, typically it could go either way with P1 or P2 on the grid from where we're starting at. Yeah, because with how Circuit of the Americas is set up, you have turn 1, which is specifically where they start on the grid. It goes into an elevation change where it goes up, and then it's a hard hairpin left.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a really hard hairpin left. So when you are on the grid and you're P1, you're actually closer to where the turn is, and that's not exactly favorable as far as like actually turning goes. A lot of times you'll see P2 who starts on the right side, they have more room to kind of like turn in at that apex. So you'll see them overtake P1 a lot of the time. So as far as like race winners go, it could really go either way, P1 or P2. You just have to really watch for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's going to be really exciting. Probably one of the best races that we're going to see this year.
Yeah, and another thing about you mentioned with the hairpin left, like I mean, I'm not gonna claim that I've ever raced there or I've ever done anything of substance there. But you and I have played that F1 game so many times, and that turn always, always, always jumps out at you. It just all of a sudden you're like, okay, I think I have enough time to turn, and all of a sudden, oh no, I'm in the wall, or I'm in the runoff, or it jumps out at you like that. So I think it's gonna be a big it's going to speak a lot to the technical the technical prowess and the technical expertise of these drivers, right? Because you can have a splendid machine all day long, but if you can't control that machine, yeah, you're done. You know, it's going to speak to the skill of all the drivers this weekend, as it does every year. So I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've taken my bike, my motorcycle, on the Circuit of the Americas as well for a track day. And
your bicycle.
In real life, it's not any easier. It's difficult. It's actually a little bit scarier because the elevation change it feels a little bit more real than the F1 25 game.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it literally it goes up, and then the way it goes is it kind of slants down as you turn, and it's just a mess. Yeah. And it's a delayed apex too. So
that's another thing. It's a delayed apex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's so many factors that go in just on the first turn of this fucking race this weekend. And we're having a sprint on top of an actual race. So I don't know how you make this any more juicier. You put strippers next to each car on the grid. That's one thing I can think of. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be absolute cinema. Absolutely.
We are definitely eating as F1 fans this weekend. We're definitely gonna eat for real.
Yeah, no, for real, dude. Absolutely, we are. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Whether or not I see it in person or on the TV, I can't complain because it's gonna be great either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we think by the end of this year, does anybody have a particularly higher chance to win the championship this year?
Oh,
for World Drivers Championship.
So right now, obviously, it's the two McLaren boys that are kind of at the forefront. Third is Max Verstappen. Fourth is George Russell. Fifth, I believe, is Charles Leclerc.
Mm-hmm.
It's anyone's game at this point because the McLaren boys are having problems. They could take a book out of Mercedes' book, just start fucking hitting each other. Verstappen is always a very, very good, a very skilled driver. We even saw it in Singapore. Whenever he still kept P2 that entire race when he was having really bad problems with the machine. So yeah. He is a very skilled driver. He obviously is one of the best in the world. He has a good shot at taking it. George Russell's a really good driver. And Mercedes has a really good machine this year. I think those two factors, he's kind of middle of the pack. If the first three don't win because they take themselves out, it's probably going to be George Russell. And then Charles Leclerc is glimmer of hope, maybe, possibly. Because Charles Leclerc, he's a good driver. It's just the car is shit.
It is shit.
The Ferrari machine is absolute garbage, and it sucks that he can't live up to his full potential as a driver because the machine's just not there. It's not there.
Oh yeah. I mean, Charles Leclerc has enough points throughout his F1 career to be considered a world champion. It just hasn't been consecutive in a season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you look at his career points, he could easily have been a world champion twice.
Yeah.
He's a good driver. I've never really shit on Leclerc. I've always shit on Ferrari, but not Leclerc because Leclerc's actually good. Same with Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton's a 7-time world champion.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on at Ferrari. I don't know why they're like this. I think they mismanage their money and resources. They had a brake failure. Both of their cars had brake failures in Singapore.
Yeah, I saw
and it's not getting better. It's not getting better. I wouldn't even count Leclerc for winning the championship. And I also, as much as this hurts to say, I don't really count George Russell for the champion this year. I don't think it's
Really?
gonna happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, because yes, he won 2 races, but it's just if they win Coda, which I also don't think is gonna happen, maybe they have a chance. But here's the thing: McLaren's domination has been prevalent throughout this entire year,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
lately, since the summer break, we've witnessed Max Verstappen just fucking clawing his way back up. And
Yeah.
he won at Monza. He won, I think, in Zandvoort, which is in the Netherlands. And I think he won one more race, but he's won like the last few races except until Singapore. But he got P2 in Singapore. So, um, if I'm to feel it out, I think the only true contenders here are just Oscar, and we have Norris, and then we have Verstappen
Yeah.
in that order. I think how it is. I'm honestly, I don't like McLaren, but I am rooting for Oscar because just seeing the shit he's gone through, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, if I have to pick somebody to be world champion, it's Oscar. However, um, Max could easily, I feel like Max could easily take that championship away from them at the same
100%.
time
Yep.
because he's beating on them really fast and really hard. I mean, Lando got P3, Max got P2 in Singapore. Oscar wasn't even on the podium, and it's been like this. Like they've been trending down since the summer break, and you know, the odds are getting a lot more volatile
Yeah. Oh,
um,
yeah.
this season. So
I even
anybody's game.
I went to DraftKings and I threw money on Max Verstappen to win the WDC. I bet $25, and if it hits, I'm gonna be $175 richer. That's how much the odds are kind of against Verstappen. The odds are kind of very much in favor of the McLaren boys. It's just which one of them's gonna do it. Is our Papaya Rules gonna strike again, and then Lando is somehow gonna run away with it, or is Piastri going to finally put his fucking foot down and be like, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. You can kick me out if you want to, but, because he has a contract. He's a contract with the rest of the season. So, like, what are they going to do? Like, honestly,
They're not going to do anything. They're going to give him slaps on the wrist, but, I mean, realistically speaking, they're not going to do anything. At least not the end of this year. Through that the end of this year.
Yeah.
Oscar, I would say he like flat out would win the championship, but we are pretty close in points. And like I said, they've been trending down. So, in a fun way, this makes it unpredictable because we really don't know what the hell's going to happen at the end of this year, and it'll be fun to keep track of it and see where it's going. But
absolutely,
I think if I really have to say, like, Verstappen has a shot. Lando could easily, have McLaren just leverage his field a little bit higher and, beat Piastri through technicalities and team orders.
Yeah.
But, if Oscar ignores these things, he could win the championship. So it's something to watch for sure. It's going to be an exciting thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just the key takeaway for this entire conversation is this season is very exciting. And the end of the season is going to be very exciting. I chose the right year to
boring.
Huh?
It started boring too.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the very beginning of the season, so.
I was. It fucking sucked. Every time I would tune in, it was just McLaren 1-2. McLaren 1-2. McLaren 1-2. Got bored. I wouldn't even tune into the races for a bit because I was literally like, I didn't tune in like consistently until Silverstone because it was like just a mess. It was literally just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 McLaren every time.
And I remember we were talking about that because you were like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the race. I'm like, you're not gonna watch the race? You're like, no, because McLaren's just gonna win again. Like, what's the point? And I'm like, yeah, you got a point.
McLaren dominance may bore fans. But they're not dominating anymore.
Now they're slipping up.
Made a Mercedes, made a second Mercedes win out of it. So, I'm pretty happy about it.
We need a first Ferrari win out of it.
Dude, what is so crazy to me too is I forget which race it was, but recently Leclerc got a podium.
Yeah. Oh my God, where was it? I was very happy. I was like, like I was ecstatic. I forgot which race it was.
I'm looking it up right now. Sorry, that's podiums. Hungarian Grand Prix. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
when
wasn't
was.
Hungarian Grand Prix.
That was the first race out of the summer break. He got pole position in qualifying, but he didn't hold it. And I don't remember what his finishing spot was, but bro was not happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it has a lot to do with not him as a driver, but just Ferrari's mismanagement of like the car, their strategy, the resources that they have. Like it's just a lot of mismanagement. They're not doing well.
Yeah.
And like you could hear Charles Leclerc's like radio messages, like he was just fuming, and like rightfully so, because he had it in like the palm of his hands to win this race, and it was just taken from him by not another driver, his own team.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty wild. Do you want to get into the 26 regulations?
I actually have
time.
Yeah,
I don't know how much.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're literally only like 30 minutes in.
Oh, dude, perfect.
Yeah.
I want to keep you after.
So I actually have them pulled up right now for our lovely streamers, or people watching our stream.
Oh, there are.
I actually don't know if there's anybody watching our stream right now. I'm gonna err on the side of probably not, but I don't know.
That's okay.
I think there might be one person. Cool. Anyway, so FIA unveils Formula One regulations for 2026 and beyond, featuring more agile cars with more active aerodynamics. So,
yes, that's right.
From 2026 onwards, Formula One will have more agile cars, which are 30 kilograms lighter and thus able to do better on the track, a redesigned power unit featuring increased battery power, and an even split between internal combustion engine and electric power, plus the use of advanced sustainable fuels.
Yep. In Lance Stroll's, which I never thought I'd have to use, but he said it was more of like a science fair than an actual, racing ordeal.
Actual car.
Yeah, and like I mean, he's not wrong for once. The cars, from what I've seen, are about like I want to say they're like 30% like less wide, I believe, and they're gonna have active aero on the front wing as well as the rear wing, but DRS is going away. So, yeah. And to newbies joining the show, DRS basically is drag reduction system. It's a little mechanism on the back wing that essentially opens and closes a section of the back wing to basically allow for more or less aerodynamics.
I'm actually about to pull up a freaking video of it.
Yeah, no, you can. A lot of drivers within 1 second of a car, they're behind. If they're within 1 second, they can use DRS, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier for them to overtake.
It's that right there when it opens up, because it reduces the drag in this rear wing, increasing top speed.
Yep. So we're getting rid of that. So just forget I mentioned anything, I guess.
Forget we said anything about it.
Unless you're tuning in for like the rest of the season, like that's it.
Yeah, that's it's done.
Yeah. What I'm excited about though is, all things considered, Mercedes engine, their power unit, said by Max Verstappen. I mentioned this earlier, but Max Verstappen himself has said that he thinks Mercedes engine is going to be pretty dominant.
Yeah, absolutely.
George Russell is saying that, as a driver, he's a lot more confident, and he is feeling like he can get a world championship. I don't think it's going to happen this year, because it is just like that gap to get into the championship.
Yeah.
That's closing pretty rapidly. But I think next year George Russell might actually, if the car is dominant, which I believe it is, I think he has a really good chance of winning a championship next year. But it remains to be seen. We gotta watch next year what happens.
Exactly.
Another thing I want to talk about too is the Aston Martin and Williams comeback arc.
What? I mean,
Yeah,
Williams did kind of have a comeback arc. I'm not even gonna lie. But
Williams
Aston Martin,
I think they can come back because, from what I understand, since like the summer break or even before that, actually, they've been focusing all their efforts on the 2026 car because of these regulations that have changed for how they build the cars. I'm really curious, not for Lance Stroll's sake, because you can give him a fucking torpedo and he will probably figure out a way to crash it.
yeah.
But as far as Fernando goes, Fernando Alonso, with the possibly good, if they've been spending this much time on the 2026 car and not upgrading the 25 car, there's a chance that they could kind of get up there. Because, it's rare, but you'll see it even this season. Aston Martin has those moments where they'll like kind of poke out at you, and like Silverstone, Lance Stroll just decided to be Ayrton Senna in the rain, and he was like, I think like P4 or P5 for like a while, for most of the race. And Fernando Alonso, not this race, but one of the more recent races, he was doing really fucking good too.
Yeah, I noticed that. Which race was that?
So they're kind of a wild card because they're usually bad, but then occasionally they'll just decide to be good. Like they just like flip the switch and they're like, you know what, we're good now, and then immediately go to being shit.
Oh, you know what? We're good. Never mind, we're terrible.
Hey, check this out. All right, that's all we got.
Check this out. P3. It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Literally. Next race, it's double DNF.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it. It's so over, it's so back team. It's definitely Aston Martin.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and Lance Stroll, right? He's the biggest nepo baby of the sport. Like, yeah, there's a lot of nepotism in the Formula One because it's such an expensive sport to get into. But he's like the most blatant nepo baby of the fucking sport. Like the most.
Might as well have like a flashing billboard above his head that just says, "I am a nepo baby."
Literally, like my dad owns the team because his dad owns Aston Martin.
Yeah, I forget his name. Something Stroll.
No, really?
I forgot the dad's name. It's irrelevant. Honestly, he owns the team. Lance Stroll.
Dad.
Lawrence Stroll is his name. That's what it is. It just came back to me.
Yep, Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah.
I just looked it up.
2026, we're going to see if, them focusing this long for this amount of time is going to yield anything. If so, we might see an Aston Martin comeback. I'm not holding my breath for it. I'm not even putting money on it. Not putting money on it at all. But I am curious. That's something to watch for. Definitely watch for Aston Martin. Williams too. They're fucking knocking it out of the park as far as like this year versus like the past. I think like 8 years that they've had. Williams was this team that had a lot of great history back in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And since then they've gotten not well. They have been pretty much on the verge of like bankruptcy. They brought in their team principal James Vowles, and he didn't even fully know what he was doing in the initial like start of his era as this team principal for Williams. But he's really taken this team and he's made this car, like as far as like this last regulation year goes, like he's really made, like with Carlos Sainz joining too, all these things that are kind of like just slowly stacking up for Williams.
Yeah.
And them having more points this year than the last like several years combined, like that's a big indication. Like you should be watching for Williams, and you should be rooting for them too, because they're kind of like this underdog. They were good. Senna raced for them. Nigel Mansell raced for them, and they've won championships, and I think they can get back up there too.
And I was about to say, how could you talk about Williams' comeback without talking about Carlos Sainz? Because Carlos Sainz is a phenomenal driver.
Yeah,
he may be a little bit past his
Ferrari.
prime, but honestly, he is a good driver. He's a really good driver.
I think he's still got that dog in him. I
Right.
don't think he's too old yet.
We saw that
I think
what was it? No, it wasn't Baku. It was before Singapore. His first podium while he was in Williams.
recently. No,
Yeah.
it was Baku.
That was Baku? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think he got like P3.
Yeah, he got
Which is like insane. Williams.
P3, and everyone was rooting for. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Ah! And he did the whole smooth operator thing, which is amazing. They were even playing it. I don't know if you. I think I sent you a video of them. Like after I got finished with the race, you could hear it in the background. They were playing smooth operator. While
Yeah. I love that Ferrari kicked Carlos Sainz off of their team. And he was kind of forced to Williams because they wanted to make room for Lewis Hamilton to join, and Lewis Hamilton has a big fat 0 as far as podiums go.
At 0.
Carlos Sainz has 1. 1 is still better than none, though. Let me tell you.
1's still better than 0.
Straight up, Carlos Sainz, like,
It's not.
as far as like the race standings go, like you usually see Lewis Hamilton ahead of Carlos, but I mean, as far as like end results go, I mean, Carlos has been doing better.
Yeah.
And, I think with the 20 regulations, I think Carlos is only going to go on the up. I think we could see, if Williams has a good car next year, they could definitely be on the come up, even more so than they already are. Because James Fowles, he's a great guy, great team principal. Alexander Albon, he was formerly with Red Bull. I haven't seen too much of his performance, but they're definitely like a long-term play. I think Williams long-term has a future, like a really bright future.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think if they keep going the pace that they're going and they keep going the direction they're going, they can be, middle of the pack / top pack team, especially if they really invest in their machine this upcoming season. If they really invest in their car and they really invest in their drivers, they'll be great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So those are the two things I want to watch for next year. And how do we feel about Red Bull next year?
Red Bull's a toss-up. Red Bull, I mean, always a toss-up, but Red Bull's really a toss-up. Do you think Isaac Hadjar is actually going to get demoted to Red Bull, or do you think they're going to keep Yuki Tsunoda? Because I don't think they're going to keep Yuki.
No, I don't think they are. I actually think he's going to get demoted to Red Bull, which is hilarious to even like use that in like a sentence.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting demoted to what is supposed to be the better team.
Because, like, yeah, it's a joke that he's getting demoted, but, like, in reality, it is kind
Really
of
is
a
true.
freaking demotion.
There's some kind of merit to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, Helmut Marko, this Austrian fuck who is in charge of Red Bull Racing for F1.
Austrian fuck.
Dude, I hate him. So he doesn't understand fundamentally, like, I don't even know where to start with this guy. He's so out of touch with everything.
Yeah.
So like I always tell you this like all the time, but Red Bull just decides to make this one of a kind piece of shit that only Max can drive.
Only
and
Max
usually,
can drive. Yep.
yeah, literally. And then the second driver gets left high and dry. Checo Perez was like probably the best second driver you could ask for Red Bull, because he seemed to consistently like do pretty well in it, even though he wasn't like where they wanted him to be. Dude, since then it's just been a revolving door. It's like that meme with like the Grim Reaper going like door to door.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the beginning of this year, we started with Liam Lawson as the second driver for Red Bull. That didn't last very long, did it?
Yeah. It did not.
No, I think like within the first race or two, they literally like demoted him back to V-carb, and then took Yuki Tsunoda and put him on the Red Bull team. And then Yuki's not doing too great. He's not. He's not, and he's not going to get better. And they Red Bull almost like wants to think that if you put somebody in a Red Bull, if they're not like a Max Verstappen, then they need to be fired.
Yeah.
And that it's just something you can get. And it doesn't work like that. Because Max has a very specific driving style that not a lot of people like. Not a lot of people drive like Max Verstappen, and I mean it's very evident when you watch any like of the races that he's been in.
Absolutely.
So with all this in mind, like you said, it's going to be a toss-up. I think we're going to see Isaac Hadjar probably go over to Red Bull next year, and he is a good driver. He's a pretty good driver. Is it enough?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is it enough? That is the big question. Is it enough? Because like we've both just reiterated, Red Bull likes to make a piece of shit car only Max Verstappen can drive, and because of that, people like Yuki Tsunoda get thrown under the bus because he gets labeled as a bad driver, all because he can't handle the car that Red Bull made for him. Right? There is a certain aspect of his driving style, his driving skill, because isn't he a rookie?
Yuki, yeah, no, like he hasn't been in Formula One for very long at all.
Exactly. So he's still kind of learning, right? So it does kind of speak to part of it, yes, is his driving technique, his driving style, his driving experience. But at the same time, you can't expect somebody to just hop in the car, a specific car you built for one person to fucking drive, and then them perform well, right? So I think, honestly, the only reason Red Bull has another driver is because by regulation they have to have another driver. I feel like they would have Max Verstappen and that's it. Yeah,
if they could, they would.
If they
Absolutely.
could, they totally would. Yeah. And that's why the number 2 driver seat is always a revolving door for Red Bull, because they're like, okay, this guy's not working. Okay, we know Max is going to throw up points. We know Max is always going to get us like points and get himself points, get us where we need. Now we just got to figure out, okay, who we're going to put in the number 2 slot.
Yeah. And if they don't do how we want them to do, then we'll just fire them. We have a second team that we can just pull from.
Yep.
And we've looked through the talent pool to find more people to put in the second team, and then we put them. It's a whole like conveyor belt method that they do at Red Bull, and it just doesn't work.
And that's why they never ever win the Constructors Championship, because they make a shit car that only Max Verstappen can drive well.
Like, don't get me wrong, from like 2021, like Max's 4 championships that he won, like they did have a great car.
Sure.
But like this year's been a really hard year for everybody except for McLaren, apparently. Even then,
except for McLaren.
Skill issue on McLaren's part, though.
Skill issue.
Yeah, as far as like Red Bull goes, though, like it is. I agree with you. It's going to be a toss-up. We're just gonna have to see how they do next year. Verstappen has no plans on leaving Red Bull, so he's going to be with the team next year. And
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it works, it works.
Yeah, if it works, it works. So with the new regulations, we're gonna be going in blind, and we're just gonna have to see how this goes.
Yep. And that's gonna be really fun. Oh, we didn't even talk about Audi.
Oh my fucking god, you're right.
We didn't even talk about Audi.
Audi is worth mentioning. So if you don't know,
go ahead.
Audi needed an F1 team, I guess, because money. So they just recently purchased Kick Sauber, the green team. That's not Aston Martin. If we're looking on the grid, it's them. The team with like 4 names and is not confusing at all. They purchased that team, and they're rebranding next year in 2026 as the Audi F1 team. There's going to be a lot of new next year. Next year's going to be really exciting for Formula One fans. Really, really interesting.
And the thing about them is that they're vowing to take this team and being like, no, we're going to make these guys top contenders, while having Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hülkenberg as their drivers.
Yeah. So They are staying with the team even though the team's getting bought out. Pretty much, they're just taking their green shirts off and putting red and black ones on. That's what's really going on here.
Which their livery for next year, so drippy. I like it.
The liveries, I hate to admit it, but the livery is kind of fucking cool. It's kind of really cool. Yeah. Well, what's great though too is Audi, having that manufacturer support of a big German brand. It can take you places. It can take you places, and we also have GM backing the Cadillac F1 team. We're starting to see companies a lot bigger resources enter F1.
Yeah,
and I think because the United States has kind of recognized F1 now more than ever as like a cool racing sport. Nobody really cares to watch NASCAR. It's F1 if you're watching racing, unless you're like a redneck or something. I don't know.
I was about to say, I know a lot of people that still love watching NASCAR. So
yeah, I guess I just forget to smoke meth before I watch NASCAR. That must be my problem.
I forget to pound a 30 rack of Busch Light before I even flip on the TV.
Yeah. But like a lot of manufacturers, especially if they're like foreign manufacturers, like international manufacturers, like Audi, like Mercedes, they're looking at F1 and they're looking at how it's expanding and growing even more than it already is as an international sport. And they're like, yo, we need to invest in this while we still can. Yeah. So Cadillac and Audi, those are both going to be some wild cards next year. Gabriel Bortoleto he's a good rookie. All the rookies this year are actually really good.
I noticed that. And I was like,
I don't have anything bad to say about any of the rookies this year. I can talk shit about Liam Lawson. I can talk shit about Yuki. I can talk shit about Lance Stroll. But I can't talk shit about any of the rookies because they're all good. For like their first year, they're killing it. They're killing it. But with that manufacturer support and with a dominant car, I mean, when the car is dominant and the setup is right, you can take somebody who's a mediocre driver and you could really make them like a podium finisher consistently.
Yeah.
And when you have Audi is one of like the biggest car companies in the world. So you have Volkswagen, Audi, and they own like everything. Like you name it, they have it.
Yeah.
I think with those two drivers, their skill level is pretty good. When you have like some guys that are pretty good in a car that can possibly be really good, I mean, we're talking podiums.
Yeah, we're talking like back to backs.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot. There's a lot to look forward to next year. It's really exciting. And then this year, it's only getting more exciting.
Yeah.
Like now, it's just a great time to be alive for Formula One. Exactly. And it's a great time to get in, because like this championship is going to go either way. It used to be that like I would tune into Formula One and I would turn it off pretty fast because Verstappen was just in the lead all the time. It was just Verstappen dominance.
Because when someone, especially if you're not a diehard fan of somebody and they keep dominating, it just gets boring. Like, yeah, if I was a diehard Verstappen fan, I'd be like, oh, I'd be excited every weekend. I'd be like, fuck yeah, he's dominating. Or if I was a diehard, Lando Norris fan, I don't think anybody is, but if I was, I would be like, fuck yeah, like McLaren's dominating every weekend, let's go. But I'm not. And so right now it's like, at first it was like, oh man, that sucks. And now it's like, this is kind of boring watching the same race happen every weekend. But now things are starting to get shaken up. Now McLaren's dominance is fading. George Russell fucking came in, what was it, P3 last race?
Last race?
No, he won. That's
he won.
Right. Sorry. Freaking.
That's why I did the T-pose, bro. No other driver has a pose that they do. It's just George Russell. I think it's hilarious.
Every driver has their thing. Freaking Carlos Sainz has smooth operator. George Russell has the T-pose. And then
that's it.
Verstappen just has, winning championships.
Verstappen has his own song and 4 championships.
Verstappen just has trophies.
Lando has mentally ill girls that follow him everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, since COVID, Lando has just, like, he's been. I'm not knocking him, but he has been like a lot like more vulnerable about like his mental state than other drivers. Um, People have kind of like warped it, and they kind of like talk about Lando like he's a crybaby, and he won over the hearts of like a lot of like girls that are like, "Oh, you poor thing." So, um, McLaren in general, but especially Lando Norris, he has like the younger audience. He basically has like an army of teenage girls that come to like his fucking defense anytime anything happens. Those are Lando fans. I stay the fuck away from them because they're awful.
Well, with that, I think this is where we're gonna leave this episode. It's already almost an hour, so thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Dude, yeah.
What was up?
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Whoever tuned in, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of HotLap.
And if you want us to talk about anything in particular, F1 related, leave a comment or DM us or something, and we will definitely talk about it.
Yep, we're on Instagram. We're on. I think somebody just pulled up to my house. Anyway, we're on Instagram. We're on Twitch. We're about to make our YouTube channel right now, so hit us up if you have any questions, anything you want us to talk about. We'll be glad to.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see.
Oh man, I keep ruining your outro, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on.
Fuck you. So anyways, tune in next week for the next episode of HotLap. We'll be talking about the Austin GP that will be happening. And oh man, that's gonna leave a lot for us to talk about. So yeah, tune in.
All right, and with that, we leave you guys. See you guys next week.